So Angel Reese is back in the news again, and it seemed like the only time they like to put this young woman in the news is whenever she's winning or beating the usual suspects at their own game. So what you're seeing right here is a picture of Angel Reese and a woman that she played against from a school called Middle Tennessee. Never heard of the school, but basically Angel Reese's team, she plays for LSU, as we all know, and they ended up winning. I don't know what round they are in the March Madness right now. Of course, by the time y'all see this video, March Madness will be over. But basically what happened this time and why PC is upset is because when the woman that she played against, whose name is Anastasia Boldreva, or Boldyreva, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly or not, fouled out, Angel Reese was waving goodbye to her. And the picture that I'm talking about is the middle one that's in a circle in the picture that you're looking at right now. And man, PC got upset again. This reminds me of last year when she did the "You Can't See Me" to Caitlin Clark. After Caitlin Clark, her team ended up losing to LSU. You know, she plays for Iowa. Of course, they are hyping her up so much. Especially back in January, they were hyping her up like crazy. But you know how that usually goes. But they got upset about that, even though Caitlin Clark did it to another basketball player previously. And I believe it was another black female basketball player. I can't remember if it was one of Angel's teammates or not, or a woman for another team. But it was another black basketball player. Had nothing to say about her and say that what she was doing wasn't sportsmanlike. But when Angel did it back to her, then she was everything under the sun but a good player. And the same thing is happening here. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to read the article, and I'm going to read some of the comments that I saw on I guess you could say various sites. Angel Reese plays with plenty of emotion in her game, and the LSU star had that on display in Sunday's NCAA tournament win over Middle Tennessee when she was able to draw them, having a very animated conversation with one of her coaches on the sideline before storming off in tears. Reese appeared to address the attention her wave was receiving. "Clickbait, everything I do keep going viral," Reese wrote on X Sunday night. LSU had a tough battle with Middle Tennessee and had to overcome being down 4 at halftime and a 9-point second half deficit, and would turn into an 83-56 win to advance to the Sweet 16. Reese, Flaw J. Johnson, and Michaela Williams played key roles in the second half comeback, scoring a combined 24 of the Tigers' 27 points in the third quarter. The Tigers put on a defensive clinic in the second half and held Middle Tennessee to 28% shooting from field and 17% from three-point range during that time period. LSU will play the winner of Creighton and UCLA in the Sweet 16 as they move closer to a potential rematch with Caitlin Clark and Iowa in the Elite Eight. LSU has had plenty of attention on them this year as one of the top teams in the country with one of the best players in the sport. But they've also garnered attention aside from their play, and Coach Kim Mulkey drew some of that over the weekend when she threatened to sue the Washington Post over what she alleged was a hit piece they're working on about her. It's not entirely clear what is alleged to be in the story, but Mulkey does have some idea since the publication sent the university a list of questions for her to answer. And that's the entire article right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read some of the comments that people have left. I'm not going to put them on here because, again, that's a lot to screenshot, but I'm going to read some of what people have been saying, and it pretty much lines right up with how they were feeling about Angel Reese last year, and this year also the same. For them, it's no good that this young lady can do in their eyes, even if what she's doing is completely harmless. Someone said, "From what we saw the last few days, it's obvious the coaches have no problem with their players' unsportsmanlike conduct. When will the universities, as a teaching institution, step in and discipline their own players for classless behavior?" Someone quoted the the article saying Angel Reese plays with plenty of emotion in her game, and the LSU star had that on display in Sunday's NCAA tournament win over Middle Tennessee when she was able to draw the foul and send the opposing teams big off the court early. Then they came back and said, and here I was thinking it was her displaying her usual bad sportsmanship. Thank you, post, for clarifying her behavior was acceptable. Another person wrote, lack of sportsmanship. Were I her NIL sponsor, I'd think twice about that decision. Disappointed in the coach as well. Someone said Reese is busting out that 1.6 GPA. Someone else said world of difference between classless behavior of Angel Reese and classy sportsmanship of Caitlin Clark. Mind you, like I said, Caitlin Clark did the you can't see me to another player that same year, but again, they didn't say anything about when she did it. But when Angel did it, it was a problem. Someone else is Reese showing classless behavior, but nobody is a surprise. It's expected. And I'm going to read one more. Angel Reese has no class and acts like a schoolyard bully on the courts. I can't see her getting endorsements without tarnishing brands. Horrible, conceited, thinks she is a queen attitude. It does not work. Now, when you read all of those things, the commonality there is them typically always saying she's not showing sportsmanlike conduct. She's not classy. They might as well have gone and said that she's ratchet or ghetto. They practically said that last year. They probably wanted to say it this year. But that's just a touch of the comments that people were saying. People saying that she shouldn't get these endorsements. She should be kicked off the team. The university needs to remove her. All she did was wave bye to the person that fouled out of the game. And because it was against a PC woman and she was clearly in tears and crying, because if you look at the picture right there, you can tell she's clearly upset about being fouled out. Anybody would. But that's just all part of the game. But the way that they make it seem like is here comes this big black boogeyman, because again, in this case, the big black boogie woman who is teasing and taunting the little delicate white flower, the pure dandelion, the little angel. Ironically, her name is an angel. And something just has to be done about this ruffian, about this scoundrel that hurt her feelings. You want to know what's so interesting? These are the same group of people that always tell black people all the time to stop dipping and dabbling in victimhood. What are you doing right here? What is happening right here in this instance right here? It sounds to me like they're the ones dipping and dabbling in victimhood, because they are, and they typically do. See, it was okay. I bet you if it was flipped, they would have been like, good for Anastasia. Put that Angel Reese in her place. That's exactly how it would have been. But because it wasn't that, they don't like Angel Reese, not because she's a good player. Because mind you, none of the comments that were left had anything bad to say about her skills on the court and how good of a player she is. It's all about her personally to them. But that's all part of the game. That's how sports is. There's going to be trash talk. That's how it is, especially in men's sports. Now, I don't think it's necessarily because Angel Reese is a woman. It's because she's black. Because again, Caitlin Clark did it last year and they had no problem with it, and she's a woman, but she's white. But because Angel Reese is black, that's the problem. And they see that she is someone that is an obstacle for them. And I was watching a live stream that Calvin Michaels did, and he made a good point. Whenever it's a black person, well, in this case, we'll keep it to a black woman in sports, they always have a problem whenever she gloats about her win. They did it with Serena Williams. They did it with Naomi Osaka. They do it with Sha'Carri Richardson. With Simone Biles and all types of, it goes on. And now with Angel Reese. And Angel already knew that she was, by her doing that, she knew they were going to come for her, because she remembers what happened around this time last year with Caitlin Clark. But she's not fazed by it at all. Keep in mind, Angel Reese is a B-More native. And if you know anybody from B-More, especially a black woman who's from B-More, she's unbothered by all of this. She really is. She's going to get on there, she's going to continue to play, and she's going to do her thing. Now, what they're going to bank on now is that they're going to focus more now on hoping that Angel loses, which means LSU would have to lose. That way they don't have to quote unquote see her anymore. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they rematch, if her and Caitlin Clark rematch, they're going to be watching that like a hawk. And if something comes out of them beating Iowa again, they're really going to be heated. They're really going to be heated. But again, I don't know when this video is going to actually go up. For all I know, it could be a thing where LSU possibly, loses and doesn't get to see Iowa, or they get to Iowa and they lose. I'm not entirely sure. But whenever the video goes up, we'll find out hopefully by that time. But congratulations to Angel Reese on winning this game, and further over, congratulations on continuing to piss off the usual suspects by just unapologetically being yourself. That's really all it boils down to. When black people are just being unapologetically them, it's always going to make the usual suspects mad. And I love it for us.